back to Braintree Today. I'm Martha Constantinidis and you're watching BCAM TV. Now we'll be getting into our latest stories from the week. On Tuesday, the federal government opened up a new website for residents to order free at-home COVID-19 testing kits. The government has secured 500 million kits and is working to purchase an additional 500 million to distribute for free. Currently, each individual household is eligible for 4 free at-home testing kits. To order your free kits, you can visit covidtest.gov and they will be shipped within 7 to 12 days after your order is placed. Each free testing kit contains 2 rapid antigen tests that will provide results within 30 minutes. The United States Postal Service is handling the process of ordering, shipping, and delivering all the tests. The latest surge in COVID-19 cases has caused 2 of the biggest retail pharmacies in the U.S. to temporarily close some locations on the weekends because of staff shortages. Like many industries, the latest surge in the Omicron variant is placing a significant strain on businesses and is driving demand unlike anything seen before. At both Walgreens and CVS locations across the states, Walgreens spokesperson Chris Lathan said, quote, "While the vast majority of our stores are open and operating with normal business hours, the ongoing labor shortage combined with the surge of COVID-19 cases has resulted in isolated instances in which we've had to adjust operating hours or temporarily close a limited number of stores," end quote. Mike DeAngelis, executive director of CVS Corporate Communications, said its stores are operating on their normal weekend hours, but noted that a tiny fraction of stores are temporarily closed on one or both days of the weekend to help address acute staffing issues. The adjusted operating hours in these stores are temporary. This week, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention said that it may be time to rethink the type of mask you wear. The CDC updated its mask advice to reflect the best available options and the different levels of protection they provide. The updated guidelines recommend that Americans wear the most protective mask they can find that fits well and that they will wear consistently. The CDC says, quote, "Loosely woven cloth products provide the least protection. Layered, finely woven products offer more protection. Well-fitting, disposable surgical masks and KN95s offer even more protection. And well-fitting, approved respirators, including N95s, offer the highest level of protection," end quote. Cloth masks can stop large droplets, while more effective masks can also filter smaller aerosols or particles. According to the CDC, properly fitted N95 respirators that are approved by the U.S. National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health can filter up to 95% of particles in the air. City employees in Boston who have not complied with Boston's COVID-19 vaccine mandate will not be officially disciplined until 9 days after the deadline. The deadline for city employees to provide proof that they have received at least 1 shot was this past Saturday, January 15th. Boston Mayor Michelle Wu said in a statement, quote, "Starting on January 24th, any staff still without proof of vaccination will begin to be placed on unpaid administrative leave, pending further action," end quote. According to Wu's office, more than 17,000 employees are in compliance with the mandate. 16,864 workers have verified that they are fully vaccinated, while 561 employees have verified they are partially vaccinated. City employees who do not comply with the vaccine mandate could lose their jobs. Last Friday, some Boston public school students walked out of class in protest as they call on city and state leaders to take more steps towards preventing the spread of COVID-19 within schools. About a dozen students at Boston Latin School walked out of class for a brief time, while others did not attend school to support the effort. The students involved are calling for 2 weeks of remote learning. One student who walked out said, quote, "We're already not learning as much because so many people are out. We should have an option to be online," end quote. In a statement about the demonstration, Boston Public Schools said, quote, "We will continue to listen to our students and families as we navigate this latest surge and the impacts it has on our ability to remain in person and deliver a quality education," end quote. Since the start of the year, the district has been detailing the steps it's taking to combat soaring COVID-19 case numbers. That includes investments in testing. Massachusetts state officials said in the spring that remote learning would no longer count towards required learning hours unless a waiver is granted. Any remote school days not granted by a waiver must be made up by students and teachers at the end of the year, similar to snow days. The state is still monitoring and reporting health trends as cases continue to grow. Over the holiday weekend, over 365,000 molecular tests were conducted and 56,489 new positive cases were reported. Currently, 3,192 people are hospitalized in Massachusetts and 466 are in the ICU. 47 new deaths were also reported. The town of Braintree will also continue to monitor COVID data from the state. Since our last update, Braintree Town Hall reported 364 new COVID-19 cases. The Town Hall website currently shows 8,784 positive cases in total. There have been no new fatalities reported in 9 months, keeping Braintree's total deaths at 136. Thanks for watching Braintree Today. We'll be right back with more after the break.
When the COVID pandemic began, scientists had been studying similar viruses for years, so they had a head start creating this vaccine. They also started making the vaccine early, hoping it would be approved after clinical trials found it was safe and effective. Learn more.
Welcome back. A bank loan officer from Braintree is one of 3 men who has agreed to plead guilty in a scheme to defraud a Massachusetts-based bank and the U.S. Small Business Administration. Brian Ferris, 43 of Braintree, Ted Capodilupo, 56 of Easton, and Joseph Massey, 70 of Boston, were charged last Tuesday with 1 count each of conspiracy to commit bank fraud. Prosecutors allege that between 2015 and 2018, the 3 agreed to defraud the bank and the Small Business Administration by submitting fake loan applications. The bank, which was not named in a statement from the U.S. Attorney's Office, administered the Small Business Express Loan Program, and the applications were used to secure bank loans guaranteed by the federal agency. Prosecutors say that Capodilupo and Massey submitted dozens of fraudulent loan applications to the bank on behalf of borrowers ineligible for traditional business loans. Prosecutors said Ferris, who worked as a loan officer at the bank, caused the bank to issue the loans and was paid a kickback of approximately $500 per loan from Capodilupo and Massey. The alleged scheme generated approximately $270,000. Since Braintree High School was built nearly a half-century ago, the new South Middle School will be the town's first all-new school. On Tuesday, a work area fence was being installed, signaling the start of construction of the new middle school. Once the fence and erosion control around the work area are completed, site work will begin as scheduled for January 26th. The general contractor for the project, Bacon Construction of East Providence, Rhode Island, won the contract with a bid of $66.7 million. Don Maver, Bacon's supervisor on the project, and Michael Carroll, the town's project manager, briefed the school building committee and residents on the project details during their last meeting. Carroll told the committee construction vehicles will be entering the work area behind the school via the main entrance on Peach Street, and deliveries will be prohibited for a half hour at school drop-off and dismissal times. Work hours will last between 7 a.m. and 3 p.m., and walking access to the school from Celia and Kenmore Roads will be closed off during construction. Next month, crews will be running tests to determine if blasting will be needed to remove ledge on the property. Carroll said residents would be notified before any blasting takes place, and officials will try to schedule the work during school vacations. Braintree Trash and Recycling has a new schedule for drop-offs and collections. The next household hazardous waste drop-off is April 30th from 9 a.m. to noon, located at 74 Pond Street. The next electronics drop-off, which is sponsored by Braintree Rotary, will be held on April 23rd from 9 a.m. to noon, also located at 74 Pond Street. Then the spring yard waste curbside collection begins the week of April 18th. The recycling center is open Mondays and Tuesdays and Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays from 7:15 a.m. to 2:45 p.m. For any information about the compost site or highway office, you can call 781-794-8955. And for any information regarding the trash and recycling office, you can contact the department at 781-794-8088. For information on what you can recycle, please go to www.recyclesmartma.org. Native Sun Wellness, a recreational and medical marijuana store in Hudson, Mass., has a second storefront opening planned in North Attleboro and has recently proposed opening another store at 120 Granite Street in Braintree, where the Pier 1 Imports used to be. During a meeting last month, company officials said about half of the store will be devoted to the retail operation and the remainder would be used for cultivation. They also mentioned the business would have strict security in place and no marijuana use would be allowed on the property. A second meeting on the store will be held on Wednesday, January 19th, where community members of Braintree are invited to meet some of the Native Sun team, learn more about their plans for the community, and ask questions. The meeting will be held in person at Braintree Town Hall and virtually on Zoom on Wednesday, January 19th at 7 p.m. Some information to be discussed will include plans and information for maintaining a secure facility, preventing diversion to minors, how to positively impact a community, and protocols to ensure the establishment will not constitute a nuisance to the community. Questions for the meeting can also be submitted in advance to info@nativesunwellness.com. For more information on the outreach meeting, visit their Eventbrite page or visit nativesuncannabis.com. Thank you for watching Braintree Today on BCAM TV. We'll be right back with more stories in the area.
The COVID-19 vaccine is an important tool to protect yourself and your loved ones against COVID. Getting the vaccine can help us get back to doing the things we love most. Trust the facts. Get the vax.
Welcome back to Braintree Today. Now let's get right into more stories. On Tuesday, aerial and satellite images emerged from the Pacific Island nation as a thick layer of volcanic ash covered Tonga after being hit by a massive undersea volcanic eruption and tsunami. The photos revealed the scale of the damage from the weekend's eruption, which the country's government said had caused an unprecedented disaster. Saturday's blast not only sent plumes of smoke, ash, and gas rising above the South Pacific, but triggered tsunami warnings on the west coast of the United States and sent waves across the ocean to Japan and down to Peru. Around 100 homes were damaged and 50 destroyed on the main island of Tonga Tapu, and some residents were displaced and taking shelter at evacuation centers. Local officials now fear the death toll could rise, while water supplies and international aid operations were hampered by the ash damage. Boston police reported that 2 bodies were found near tents as crews worked to clean up the last of the homeless encampments that once lined both sides of the area known as Maz and Cass. On Monday, Boston police responded to the area for a report of a found body. Crews were still working to dismantle tents and makeshift dwellings when they say they found a tarp outside of one of the tents. Assuming it was waste, officers went to discard it only to find a hand emerging from the tarp. Police say the 29-year-old man inside the tarp died of a fentanyl overdose combined with exposure to the freezing temperatures. Then on Tuesday around 9 p.m., Boston EMS say they found a body under a truck parked near a loading dock. After an investigation, police believe the victim was in an altered mental state and most likely died of hypothermia from the cold. Forecasters are tracking another storm and saying the rest of January will be colder than normal. South Shore residents should prepare to face some cold days and nights this week as a much colder air mass has moved back into the region. The Weather Service says in its forecast discussion that some snow is possible for the Quincy area on Wednesday night into Thursday morning, along with Saturday afternoon into the evening. The Weather Service also says whether or not the weekend storm hits or misses, below normal temperatures will continue into early next week, and the cold trend might continue throughout the end of January. Less than a year and a half after giving the okay to go into service, Senator Ed Markey said federal energy regulators are now reconsidering their approval for the controversial natural gas compressor station in Weymouth. Markey's office did not provide further details, but the docket numbers associated with the Algonquin Gas Transmission and Maritimes and Northeast Pipeline owned compressor stations are listed on the agenda for unspecified action at a Federal Energy Regulatory Commission meeting planned for Thursday. In a statement, Markey said, quote, "The Weymouth compressor station is a clear threat to our communities and the environment and does nothing to address energy reliability in Massachusetts. I am pleased that the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission has finally heeded my repeated calls to revisit the unwarranted approval of this dangerous project." End quote. Quincy's Interfaith Social Services, a nonprofit organization, was forced to close its food pantry to clients and volunteers on Tuesday because it was too cold to work without a heater, which broke months ago. The organization posted about the closure on Monday, and in the days since, the community has stepped in to help with the cost of replacement by raising $10,000 to donate to the nonprofit. Rick Doan, the nonprofit's executive director, said, quote, "It's been amazing. We didn't expect this much attention," end quote. Doan said there was trouble in looking for a replacement due to supply chain issues, but they finally found one which will cost about $27,000 and will be installed this upcoming Saturday. Many called in to offer their support or help, including electricians and other volunteers. The American Red Cross blood donation supply is critically low, and the shortage is being compounded by the ongoing challenges of the coronavirus pandemic. In an effort to get more donations, the organization is asking people to strongly consider donating in the new year. The organization is offering blood and plasma donors the chance to win tickets to the Super Bowl and a home theater package. People who give blood or plasma during January will automatically be entered to win 2 tickets to Super Bowl 56 in Los Angeles, California. The package includes round-trip airfare, entry to the official NFL tailgate event, and 3-night hotel accommodations, plus a $500 gift card for other expenses. Additionally, January donors will be entered for the chance to win a home theater package. There are a few Red Cross blood drives coming up in the area, including on January 25th from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. at the Blue Cross Blue Shield in Quincy, and on January 31st from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the Quincy Sons of Italy. For more information, you can visit redcrossblood.org. Thanks for watching Braintree Today. We'll be right back with more in entertainment. Welcome back to Braintree Today. Before we get into what new series you can either catch up on or begin to binge, customers should be prepared to start paying even more for Netflix. Netflix has recently announced it will be raising the price for its monthly plans, marking the first increase from the streaming platform since 2020. The monthly cost for its basic plan for U.S. customers rose $1 to $9.99, while its standard plan increased to $15.49 from the previous $13.99, and the premium plan to $19.99 from the previous $17.99. In a statement, Netflix said, quote, "We're updating our prices so that we can continue to offer a wide variety of quality entertainment options," end quote. The latest increase to its monthly plans comes under increased competition among streaming platforms and rising programming costs. Netflix is spending more on content to attract and keep subscribers as viewers have more content than ever to choose from thanks to Disney+, HBO Max, and Amazon's Prime Video. Now, back to entertainment for this week. We'll be diving into some of the latest and most talked about new series you can add to your watch list. First up, fans of How I Met Your Mother may be excited to hear of the new standalone sequel, How I Met Your Father. Like the show that inspired it, the series focuses on a young, close-knit group of friends who are trying to navigate life, which of course encompasses the highs and lows of dating and falling in love. Though in contrast to Ted telling his two children the story of how he met their mother, Sophie, played by Hilary Duff, tells her son the story of how she met his father. The show is set in 2022, but still has a familiar format and tone of How I Met Your Mother, and even borrows the infamous apartment prominently featured in the original. You can watch How I Met Your Father on Hulu. And while fans of the hit Paramount Network show Yellowstone were still reeling from the heart-stopping Season 4 finale, news broke that Yellowstone earned a nomination at the 2022 Screen Actors Guild Awards, one of the most recognized honors in the film and television industry. If you haven't seen Yellowstone yet, Kevin Costner stars as John Dutton, the patriarch of a powerful yet complicated family of ranchers. As a sixth-generation homesteader and devoted father who controls the largest contiguous ranch in the United States, Dutton has to operate in a corrupt world amid shifting alliances, unsolved murders, open wounds, and hard-earned respect. In Season 4, the Dutton family's legacy is jeopardized like never before. Yellowstone's executive producer, David Glasser, said he expects production to resume in May, and Season 5 is likely to return in the fall. You can watch Yellowstone on the Paramount Network or on Peacock. And finally, in entertainment, the new rom-com meets supernatural series Wolf Like Me stars Josh Gad as Gary, a widower living in suburban South Australia with his 11-year-old daughter Emma, whom he struggles to connect with. His life is quickly turned upside down when Gary's car is hit by a stranger, Mary, played by Isla Fisher. Mary ends up helping Emma, who suffers a panic attack after the accident, and to Gary's surprise, he finds himself on a date that ends with Mary racing out the door. Afterwards, Gary discovers Mary's secret, and their connection deepens with some uncertainty. Wolf Like Me premiered on January 13th, and you can watch all 6 episodes on Peacock. That does it for entertainment. Thank you for watching Braintree Today. I'm Martha Constantinidis, and that's all we have for news today. Stay safe, and we'll see you next time.